Yo, 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 it's Brandon,
And I'm Jeremy.
and we are here to talk that shit, but mainly in sports. We're going to be discussing other things too. We're going to be coming to you live at least once a week right now. You know, we kind of just putting our foot in the water and trying to test it, but I'm sure that we're going to have a crowd. We're going to have some fans. We're going to have some haters, of course, because that's what people do. They like to hate. So,
Well, and that's how you know when we're getting good is when people start hating, because that's when
I mean, that's a fact.
people start hating. You know you're doing well in life. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be throwing in, like you said, we're going to be doing some sports. Like, we do not recommend you take our sporting advice for bets, things like that. If you choose to do that, you're an adult. We do not take responsibility. So we are telling you now, do not take our advice for bets. If you choose to, you're on your own. That's your choice. All right, because we do have bias. Um, I like New York, and my guy over here.
I'm Red Sox all day. New England, everything. I don't really know what else. I don't even know what other teams are playing, honestly. But I mean, besides football this year, because we've been running football for what 20 some odd years. We'll let y'all have it right now. So
Taking a break.
We're taking a break. We don't have an O line basically, but that's neither here nor there. Like so.
Well, I mean, Brady not around yelling at the O line no more, saying, "Hey, you need to do your job. I took a pay cut so you could go ahead and block for me. If you don't want to block, I'll find someone else I can give money to."
Well, I mean, think about it. If I'm getting a Rolex every year just to do my job, absolutely, I'm going to block because I could sell that Rolex and buy something else. I mean, yeah, let's get it.
I mean, man took a like a $12-13 a year pay cut, so five men could get paid an extra $2-3 million a year. For an extra $2-3 million a year, I'm going to make sure my boy don't get hit.
And I, as a diehard Patriot fan, it just pains me that you would allow one of the best quarterbacks ever that we've ever seen. Hate him or love him, he wins the game for you. And you trade him off. He goes down to Tampa, and he wins the next year.
He didn't wait.
He didn't even wait.
He didn't give a year buffer. He just won the first year.
I thought he was washed. Y'all said he was washed. Y'all said he was too old. Y'all said he couldn't throw the ball. They said he had no accuracy. Hell, he goes over there to Tampa Bay. This man is drunk, and they're throwing trophies from boat to boat. He's not even taking it serious because he knows he's like that. It's crazy.
Man, so in the sports world, as you can imagine, Brandon over here got a lot to brag about over the last 15 years or so. When we first met, me and Brandon known each other for better side of a quarter century now. We've been friends and basically brothers for 25 years.
That's a fact.
And, at the beginning of it, he had to deal with my Yankees, which...
Who?
Yeah, he becomes an owl when he hears about the Yankees.
Who?
But, yeah, he the Yankees were dominant back then. We had some good stuff going on there. I can say most of my New York teams, and listen, I'm a Nets fan. We own nothing, and whoever yelled that for me.
Destroyed last night by the Celtics.
So Celtics destroyed them last night. I mean, we got a 13-point lead in the first quarter. I think they were just playing a little mercy on us. And then my guy Williams and whatever looked good for about a quarter and a half. And then freaking Tatum, that dude, he's not normal. So they got
future MVP this year. I just want to go ahead and say that.
Pritchard averaging what, 17, 18 points? He ain't even started.
This man, we call him Mr. Half-Court Shot. This man, it just seems like he wakes out of bed. He gets out of bed and just says, put me at the half-court line. I'm going to make it.
I don't know what – I mean, it's crazy to me that Pritchard's the backup to a guy who was a point guard in the Olympics. Just a few – I mean, how is that your backup? Pritchard's the backup. Your other guy just won a gold medal. And then Tatum, who listen, I don't like Boston at all, but I'm still trying to figure out. I mean, I guess they won the gold medal, and I guess the other shooting guard and stuff in front of him is Steph Curry. But how that man got like 4 minutes of playing time in the Olympics, I mean, that's baffling to me because, I mean, I think that's why he's dominating right now. I think he's a little chip on the shoulder.
Yeah.
I think Boston fans will appreciate he got a gold medal, and now he's going to try to go back-to-back. I don't know. I mean, I think in the East, Cavaliers look tough, but they're young. I don't know if they're going to be able to take down a better team like Boston. But, man, the West has some tough teams out there. So, they'll get that same thing. Maybe they'll get the Warriors again like they did 2 years ago.
It's still very early. I mean, can't really call it, but, I mean, there's a lot of teams that people weren't talking about that are doing, I mean, they're just playing ball. They're getting out there and getting it done. But, me, I'm very biased. It's Celtics every year. It's Celtics versus the NBA for me. I love the team that we have right now. There's other teams out and all over. I really enjoy watching the Bucks. I still think Giannis is an animal. He's got to watch the elbows, but I definitely love his game. I've always been saying this: if Giannis can develop any type of midi, some type of jumper, something he can go to besides, taking 3 and 4 steps to get to the paint, dunking on somebody. If he could actually add a jump shot to his game, he'd be one of the most unstoppable bigs in our league right now.
I think that they made a man like that. That's Giannis that can hit that jump shot. He's playing out in San Antonio right now. Wemby. Wemby that long, was
Huge
he
night last
7'4",
night. Huge
7'4",
night.
hitting threes, like hit 5 or 6 threes.
50 bean last night. That was crazy.
Was it 50 last night?
Last
I saw
night.
he had like 36 and 16 a couple nights ago.
Yeah. 8 threes, 50 points. People say, oh, well, maybe he needed to gain a little weight. Maybe he wasn't, they call him light in the ass, really. They're saying, he would be nothing down low. He's not a post player, but last night he was in his bag. That just goes to show you, you gotta watch these players. They're working, and you're not in the NBA. They are, so.
I mean, they can sit there and say he needs to gain weight. They've been telling Kevin Durant he needs to gain weight for 16, 17
Facts.
years now.
Facts.
And, I mean, he's a monster. I mean, he's a scoring machine. So, I mean, he's had some injuries, but nothing crazy. So this whole you need to put on weight stuff, that's neither here nor there. I mean, I've seen Zion has plenty of weight, and he can't stay on the court for longer than 5 minutes.
Lord have mercy, Zion, man. I really think it's the food in New Orleans. I mean, that gumbo and all of that food that he's eating out there has got to be something, because we'll see him off season, and it looks like he's lost 20, 30, 40 pounds. And don't get it twisted. I'm not talking about anybody's weight. I've been a big man my whole life. But I will say this. If they're giving me a check with a whole bunch of zeros behind certain numbers, I'm going to make sure that I am ready to go once tip-off comes. People are tired of hearing you and seeing you hurt every time we start the season. We want to see you. We want to see you get right. We want to see you play, young man. When are you going to give us a season that we can say, man, you know what? Zion really came to play this year. Zion is that man. We're looking at highlights. I checked out some highlights today, matter of fact, just perusing the internet. And they were showing Zion highlights from when he was in high school. And this man's doing 360 windmill dunks. Now, granted, it's over little toddler kids, but this man is 280 pounds doing that. That gave hope to any big baller. Hell, I lowered the rim to 8 feet and wanted to see if I can do something that day as soon as I saw him play. Come on. Come on.
I mean, we never, listen, we both like to eat.
I love to eat.
Food's amazing. We both big guys. I wasn't always a big guy. I'm a big guy now, but, we like to eat. But like you said, if I'm making $35, $40 million a year, I think I could cut out a cheeseburger or two.
Come on. We used to call this man Paperback back in the day. We'd be on the court. He'd take his shirt off and turn sideways. We couldn't even see this man. So, I mean, hey, if I was making money the way that these guys are getting paid, I would take it upon. I mean, this is a job. We couldn't show up to our job drunk, messed up, not knowing what we're doing. They sent us home. So, as a basketball fan, I don't see why you can't get yourself right. You got all the means to. You got trainers. You got trainers on the team. You can go seek help outside of the team. I mean, there's open runs. There's just tons of way to stay in shape. So, I feel like he's just not. Who knows? Maybe he is taking it serious. Maybe it's just hard for him to lose it. Maybe he's got bad knees. Maybe he's got those Derrick Rose knees. Who knows? I don't know.
Derrick Rose.
Man.
I'm just glad, that we got to see a little bit of for a couple seasons. But man, what could have been it's kind of like Grant Hill and the ankles.
Oh man,
it looked like it was going to be Steph Curry like that too. I'm glad that he was able to get. I don't know how he wore them little tiny shoes.
I don't get low tops, but hey, that's another episode for me. I can go on all night about high tops and low tops, but that's just me.
But speaking of Steph Curry, he made sure Klay Thompson understood that you may go somewhere, we still love you, but this is still my house. You should have stayed, and don't ever shimmy in my house again.
Right.
Klay Thompson going to throw the shimmy on Steph Curry in the first half after he hits a shot. Steph Curry comes out, and right after I was watching the game, right after the announcer said at the 4-minute mark, Steph Curry hasn't scored yet in the fourth quarter. The Dallas goes on a run. They're up by 6 now with 3 minutes and 20 seconds to go. 10-0 run, Steph Curry versus everybody. No one else on Golden State scored, and no one else on Dallas scored. 10-0 run later on Steph Curry. And then after they finally get a couple points to go ahead and get it back within one, Steph Curry goes ahead and puts them to sleep.
Absolutely.
Throws down that three. Poor guy. I think he's still trying to figure out which way Steph Curry went because he completely looked the wrong direction. His knee almost slid out from under him. He tried to jump recover. Too late. You gave him 3 inches. That's all.
That's all it needs.
It's 2.5 inches too much.
That's all he needs.
And he went ahead and threw it up there. And of course, did it even touch the rim?
Nah, I mean this guy when he shoots, I mean it's almost like a layup. So, if you notice, I've been noticing this too. Certain players after they come back from the Olympics, it's something about their gameplay. It's almost like they ascend. They hit a whole nother level, if you will. Like they power up like Goku or something like this. But this guy's playing out of his mind, and he's not a young Curry that we're used to. That 14, 15, 16 Curry that we're expected to see him do these things. But for a man, in his upper 30s, this is his year 16 that he's in, 17, something like that. And this man is still playing at a high level. I mean, even if we go across the board and we look at, they call them the old timers now. Your LeBrons, your Hardens, your Steph Currys, your KDs. I mean, all of these guys. I hope fans of basketball are really paying attention to these guys because this is an era where we might not never see another Curry again. We might not never see another Kevin Durant that can score at will. You don't get a name Slim Reaper for just because. They're not naming you this just because. They're giving you these names because you've proven night in and night out that you are him. Timothy James. These are the things that for me as a diehard basketball fan, I know I'm going to miss because this new class is coming and we got some great talent. But man, oh man, I mean, just to see somebody like Steph Curry take over a game, it's unreal to me.
Well, it was so many great players that came in over that 5-6 year span with LeBron, KD, Steph Curry, all those guys come in. They made James Harden's, Russell Westbrook's.
Right.
All these guys came in right within that same period. Reminds me of back in the late 80s into the 90s when you had Jordan, Drexler, Barkley, Johnson and Bird were finishing up. It was kind of like the heyday of the NBA.
Yeah.
And then once Jordan left in that Bulls team, there was kind of a lull there. And as a basketball fan, that stinks because, there's not the excitement around the game. And they finally built that excitement back up. Love or hate LeBron James. I am not a LeBron James fan, but the man's amazing. He's the king. I'm always going to take Michael Jordan all day long over LeBron, but that man's a top 3 player of all time.
Absolutely.
And if you think otherwise, you're just hating. That's what I was talking about at the very beginning. You've made it when people are hating on you like crazy because that's what you're doing. Just like they tried to find some with Jordan gambling, and that's why he retired the first time. You got to try to find some because there's no way they could be that good. I hated Patriots, and that is the one I am not a New York fan of. My mom made me a Dolphins fan. They haven't won anything in my lifetime.
Trash.
So yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Listen, it's crazy. Everyone talks so much trash about Tua, about how horrible Tua is, but yeah, when the Dolphins don't have him, they are awful. Like awful. But watching Tom Brady play all those years, people wanted to say, oh, it's because they cheated by videoing, and they cheated because they deflated the football, even though 5 other quarterbacks came out and said that they changed the inflation and deflated or inflated the balls too. They didn't even know it was a rule. So, they said he cheated on that. Oh, he had the referees in their pocket. You know what team now they always say has the referees in their pocket? What's that team now that everyone says?
I think that's Kansas City and them.
Why do you think everyone hating on and say it got to be the referees? Could it have something to do with the fact that they?
I think they haven't lost this year, so you know how that goes. We got to hate on something.
Yeah, and they've won They've won the last Super Bowl. They've won 3 out of the last 5 Super Bowls. 3 out of the last 4 maybe. I can't even remember. I don't know. They won a lot, and they've won 3 Super Bowls in Mahomes' time. That's people. That's how you know you've made it. People want to hate on you because of that. Every great player, every great athlete, every person in general, people that do well in life, people want to think that there's got to be a reason why they did it, we did.
Right.
Listen, I give people the props. LeBron James, your game, I think physically, you're the most physically gifted player to ever step on the court. But I feel like there's a couple things where I think you're going at it at the end, wanting the ball at the end. I feel like there's some times there where he couldn't, but that still doesn't take away from your greatness. He's a phenomenal player.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you can't. You got to look at the pedigree of what you call somebody great. Every team that he's gone to, he's produced a ring. Even when they have an asterisk over the what do they call that, the bubble finals?
Yeah,
the COVID finals. They said, oh well, we don't really count that because it wasn't really a playoffs, and it absolutely was a playoffs. Just the country was shut down, and these men were still getting out and trying to one, entertain us, give us something to look forward to, and do what they love. So personally, that was no asterisk to me. I mean, the man gets the job done. Everywhere he's gone, he's got a ring. He went back to Cleveland. He got a ring for Cleveland, his hometown. I mean, these are the things that I look at, that makes you a winner. He's a pass first player. And I look at it like some people would ask, did Michael Jordan make anybody better? And I say, well, you got to look at the people they have around him. But then they say, well, I feel like LeBron has actually made people better that are around him. And if you look at his team when he first got to the Cavaliers, he had a whole bunch of people that could be playing at the Sportsplex. These are your one life players, besides a couple scattered good players in here. And no offense to them, because they could give me 20 easily. You know what I'm saying? But these guys weren't LeBron status. And he took these guys deep into the playoffs single-handedly. So I look at things like that when we're talking about who's great, who's not, who should get their flowers. And again, I'll say it up here, I'm a diehard Celtic fan, and this man plays for the Lakers. But I'm checking for LeBron every time he has a game on TV because we're witnessing greatness right now. This man in basketball years, he's 160. I mean, could you imagine the mileage that he has on his knees, back, ankles? I mean, this dude is he's unreal. He's almost an alien to me, and that alone is very impressive,
Yeah, it's crazy. Like I said, there's things that I thought he could have done better in his game, but that doesn't mean that he hasn't been phenomenal. Like you said, he won in Cleveland, he made the championship a couple times, went to Miami, won a couple championships, came back to Cleveland, won the championship,
right.
Went to Lakers. Like you said, the COVID year. Does it help him out a little bit? Yeah, because both him and AD had injury prone, so a shortened season helps him out, of course. But it helped out a lot of other players too. Like
Absolutely.
we said, a lot of the other best players in the league. I'm pretty sure Curry was hurt most of the year that year. He ended up not coming back for the bubble. Or I don't think they made the bubble because they were so far down. But he went through there. They played. Everyone else had the same chance they did that made it.
Yep.
It was a neutral court. You can't say they home field advantage, and it was in Orlando, wasn't it? So they're on the opposite side of the country.
Right.
From where there it was. And you know what? I give the NBA a lot of props because they figured out a way when all the other leagues were kind of like, well, what are we going to do? They found out a way. So we're going to all play in the same spot all the time. We're going to find a few courts down here. We're going to play. Now, it is easier for them because, basketball court's a lot easier to find than a baseball or a football field. But, they figured it out. They found a way. People still watch the games. They had a lot of people watch on TV. We didn't have anything else to do back then. And if
we
you're a
locked
basketball
down.
fan, we loved it, but then we're going to complain about who won at the end. Like,
Absolutely.
Come on. They won it. They won the championship. He has a ring. He has 4 rings. I honestly, and this is just my personal opinion. I'm sure there's a lot of other players out there. In the last, just in these last 15, 20 years, my opinion is you have LeBron James, Steph Curry, and then everybody else. Like the rest of them go down. That's
no
my top two.
KD? No KD?
Because listen, KD won 2 championships with Steph Curry. He had super teams both before and after Steph Curry, including with my Nets, and didn't win shit.
Well, the Nets is not a super team.
They had Harden and Westbrook over there.
You got to have them on the court at the same time.
Harden and Kyrie. I'm sorry, Harden and Kyrie. Kyrie was over here taking personal days, like they were, over here eating them like Pringles. Like I can't stop. Like ridiculous. That man missed 40-some games a season, getting paid $30 million a year. I don't know. I wouldn't have paid him.
I didn't think he wanted. He didn't want to take the vaccine. So I mean, it's anybody's opinion. It's anybody. If you want it, it's your prerogative. If you didn't want to take it, cool. But it falls back to one of those things. Like if it was mandatory to take this vaccine, or you couldn't play, then that's what it was. So I mean, my thing is this though. That you might be letting down a team for your own personal beliefs. So again, if that's what you wanted to do, cool. But I would have loved to see all of those guys go in at one time. Everyone healthy, everybody on the floor. There's no stipulations. We're out here to play basketball. I really feel like that Brooklyn Net team would have been unstoppable.
Well, and here's the thing. So the reason why I think Kyrie wouldn't work with a Harden, well, not so much Harden, it wouldn't work with a KD. KD is an isolation guy, likes to work out of isolation and make it, and produce his shot, make his shot available. And he's not a big, where Kyrie's kind of the same thing. He likes to work in isolation and go everything like that. Harden's a passing guy. LeBron, obviously, is a passing guy. LeBron is a
pass-first player.
So he worked great with Kyrie. Now he's with Luka. Luka is a scorer, but he's also a big pass guy. He's always at the top and at assists. That's why I think they're working well together. I think the KD-Kyrie thing didn't work out real well just because, I don't think that they could work real well together just because they're both guys that are shoot first, pass second. I think that was kind of the thing. Kyrie always works better with a guy that is a pass first, shoot guy that, LeBron, he can score 30 points a game probably whenever he wants.
Absolutely.
But, he's always trying to make his teammates better. I sometimes think that's where he kind of, he scored the 30 points, man. Don't shoot it out when you could literally just, put your chin on the rim and, do a pull-up on the rim, but pitch it out hoping that guy's going to hit the three in the corner. That guy's not as good as you. So don't pass it. Just dunk it.
Right. But, I mean, sometimes players, they feel like they want to get their players going. They want to get their teammates going. And they want to build some type of confidence. And again, that could be – those are characteristics of a leader as well. Sometimes the greatest leader is always sometimes someone who can listen to other people's ideas and come up with a good solution. But I understand when people are saying he should shoot the ball more. He should command the ball when it's time, when the game is on the line. We know Steph Curry's taking that final shot when the game's on the line. We know most likely it's either going to be Jason Tatum or it's going to be Jaylen Brown taking these shots, because those are your stars. And we understand that. But, you would hear LeBron say something like, well, I felt that was the smartest play, to hit the wide open man in the corner because I'm triple team going into the paint. So I understand it, but you're LeBron James. And that's what people are saying. They're used to seeing you doing larger-than-life things on the court. So it's almost expected for you to take the game over because if you're like me and you're a 90s baby you sat and saw Michael Jordan era and you watch Michael Jordan, Bulls down by 6, Bulls win by 4. Michael Jordan took the game over. You come back from a timeout, this man's walking on the court chewing gum like a cow, and he's about to drop 12 more points on y'all. And that's just what it was. And I think people like me come from an era that saw this. We saw these main guys say, all right, team, jump on my back. I got it. I'm about to take y'all to the promised land. And, some players, they just don't operate like that,
Yep, exactly. Well, I want to switch over to some football, man. We got some football coming up. This is a
Go
massive,
Patriots.
Yeah, well,
Go Patriots.
Are they still playing?
Go Patriots. We won. We won last Sunday. Let's go.
Who y'all play?
It don't matter. Who did we play? Who do we beat up on out here?
Was it Jacksonville?
It's tough. No, I forget.
Tennessee?
Nah. They beat us. This is ridiculous. I don't know. I have to think about it. It's so far and few games that we win nowadays. And I was personally pissed off because I want to get Travis Hunter. We need a first-round draft pick. You know, we need some fat boys.
That man's a monster.
We
down
need
in
some
Colorado.
fat. Yes, we need some fat boys, 350 and up, to be on that line because we got Drake May running for his life out here. This is a new quarterback. We want to keep him healthy. And the last thing we want to do is have him turn into another Mac Jones 2.0. We don't want to see this guy get hurt early in his career. Then we ship him off, and then we're doing the same song and dance every 3 to 4 years.
Damn, y'all beat the Bears.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We beat
16.
Caleb. Yeah.
Damn, defense, 3 points.
Somebody said the reason why we won, and I didn't say this, but this is what I saw online. The reason why we won is because Caleb Williams, his nail polish chipped. We won. Who knows? I don't know. Do what you want to do.
Threw off his trajectory on his passes. I mean, he evidently didn't pass much. They only scored 3 dang points. I mean, what did Caleb's stats look like? I didn't even know. I forgot about that game. I wasn't really watching that. I mean, Bears started off like 4-2. They've lost like 3 in a row now.
Don't wait till week 10 to start playing basketball. Start playing football, y'all. We should have had this same type of energy. We had a good week 1. I was really pumped. You did it for the new coach. We like the new coach. Well, I like the new coach. I know there's some people in New England that don't like him because he's not winning, and amongst other things. I mean, that's New England. If you know, you know.
Yeah. But not everyone can be Bill.
Well, and that's the thing. We don't want a Bill Belichick. We want somebody who can also produce. And I know he comes from the cloth of Bill Belichick, but he isn't Bill Belichick, and I wasn't expecting Bill Belichick.
No, listen. The big thing is Drake May. He can't run for 95 yards like he did 2 weeks ago. He only ran for 24 yards in that game. He got a win. You know, he didn't make a bunch of silly mistakes. Doesn't look like he had any fumbles or anything. Or no, you had a couple, but none of them were lost. So he didn't lose any fumbles. He had 1 interception. Caleb Williams looked like he good at throwing the ball away. Like he didn't have any turnovers, but he threw the ball 30 times at 120 passing yards. That's 4 yards per pass average. He ain't gonna get very far.
Well, our defense actually showed up that week. So I mean, they said that we got Gonzo back there, and if people don't know who that is, that's Gonzalez. We've been big on him. We just need guys that are willing to commit, get out there, and really play. But it starts at the line. Anybody who's played football, anybody who watches football should know. It starts down on these trenches. And if you don't have the proper protection, I don't care who you got back there under center. They will be running for their lives.
Anyone that watched the movie Blindside knows.
Come on now.
Who outside the quarterback, who are the highest paid players on the team?
Come on, man.
Offensive line.
Come on now.
They get paid to protect the highest paid guy on the team. I mean, you have to have an offensive line.
Got you.
Otherwise, you end up, with quarterbacks hurt all the time, getting hit, unless it's a guy, like Josh Allen or Ben Roethlisberger. Those guys just seem to never take hits and not bother them. But they're also, the size of the middle linebackers that are
exactly.
out there. So you can't be too sized to be taking hits like that.
Right.
I can't believe all that. But hey, this week is like a massive week. They got some big games starting tonight. Tonight you got the Redskins
and
Philadelphia. That's for the lead in the division. Washington at 7-3. The Phillies in at 7-2. Already had their bye week. Jaden Daniels.
Did you say Redskins or did you say Commanders? Because we got to be politically correct. Some people might get offended.
I'm Native American. I got the Dreamcatcher tattoo on my arm over here. I'm not offended. I apologize if you are. I will say it again. The Commanders are playing the Eagles tonight. So the Commanders are playing the Eagles tonight. 7-3. Jaden Daniels, probably almost a shoe-in for Rookie of the Year at this point.
What a beast!
That man's a monster.
He's
man, killing folks.
And that Hail Mary toss a couple weeks ago really put him on the map.
Did you see the guy? Tell me you saw the guy in the stands that was like waving to all the fans and talking smack to all the fans while the play was going on.
Unbelievable.
And then guess karma's a bitch.
Can you imagine that plane ride home?
Dude, he was the one that ran over. Last second, jumped up. It went off his hand.
Unbelievable.
Didn't knock it down. Went off the top of his hand. And my dude caught it. That was the Bears, too. Bears had a rough couple weeks.
It's a rough start.
They lost to New England, who's been struggling. And now they lost. Like, it wasn't even close. They lost by over 2 touchdowns.
We played good football.
and then they lose to Washington in that fashion. That you can't do that. That's crazy to me. Then also starting off Sunday at 1:00. Pittsburgh. Once again for the division lead. Baltimore at 7-3, Pittsburgh at 7-2. Russell Wilson trying to reignite that Super Bowl career.
Man.
That he made it to 2 Super Bowls, won one, lost one. Yes, we know who they lost to. When he threw it to the wrong team there at the 1-yard line.
Let's go. Well, I mean, when you got somebody like Marshawn Lynch back there, you got to give it to him. But being a Patriot fan, again, it worked out perfectly for us. Shout out to Malcolm Butler. Thank you for that interception. And Tom Brady gave him that pickup truck. I think he was a rookie that year, if I'm not mistaken.
I think he was. He ended up making lots of.
Come on.
After that play, he was more of an average defender for the rest of his career, but he got paid all-pro money.
Absolutely.
Because of that one play. That one play made him millions.
As it should.
Yeah, I mean, he won a Super Bowl.
As it should.
He saved the whole Super Bowl.
Saved the whole Super Bowl.
So, I mean, that would maybe, and it's crazy to have those two games, and that's not the game of the week. In my opinion, and I don't think too many people would argue this, football fans, the game of the week is Kansas City rolling into Buffalo.
I'm going to go ahead and say Buffalo's going to lose, and I hope they do. They're in my division. Let's go, Pats. I'm very biased.
Listen, I am also very biased, and I have to really not like Buffalo. My better half in my house is a Bills fan, and being a Dolphins fan, I'm getting tired of getting, like, we played them 2 weeks ago, and we had them beat, and we blew it at the end, lost by 3. But, we blew the division to them last year, up 3 games with 4 games to go, and ended up letting them come back and win the division. But that being said, it's hard for Kansas City to go into Buffalo and beat Buffalo in Buffalo. I think this is where Kansas City probably gets their first loss. That's not me saying that I think Buffalo is going to beat Kansas City in the playoffs. Playoffs are a totally different monster. Buffalo beat Kansas City in the regular season last year and then lost to them in the playoffs. I saw a post the other day. It was actually my better half that sent it to me. She sent it to me and said that why does the AFC even bother to do a season? Why don't we just cut the rest of the season and have the Chiefs and the Bills play a 3-game series? Best one goes on to the Super Bowl. First 1 to 2 games, because that's basically the way the AFC's went for the last 4 or 5 years. The only difference is, guys, those Kansas City's won every time.
I mean,
so and they're calling for a new coach and stuff out in Buffalo. Or is Josh Allen really the one? Guys, they're losing to the team that wins every year. Why? Y'all can say. I don't know about you. Would you take McDermott and Josh Allen over in New England?
I mean, if they wanted to come over here and contribute to something, but, we already have dogs already. So I guess we'll take them, but they'll probably be second or third straight.
Drake May going to start.
Drake May, baby, what are we talking about? Okay? That's my quarterback. What are we doing?
Tua, you're going to the bench if Josh Allen comes to you.
That's a fact. You're going to the bench.
McDaniel, you can be the offensive coordinator. McDermott, you're coming in and taking over. if they get that chance, you can be the offensive coordinator. That's pretty much what McDaniel is anyway. He don't have anything to do with the defense. You see him randomly walk over to the defensive coordinator going, what defense are we playing on this one?
Right.
I mean, not that he doesn't know defenses. He has to beat them all the time with the offense. But once again, if he doesn't have a pinpoint cornerback, his offense doesn't work. So
it's almost like Kansas City is just playing backyard football. I mean, they're just having fun out there. Half of the time, Kelsey's running around, making his own routes. Oh, you open? Oh, I'll throw it to you. I mean, these dudes, it looks so easy for them, And the crazy part is they're the ones saying we're not playing well.
Well, I remember you'll remember when Romo and Witten got caught on like the boat, during their off week during the playoffs. They had like a 2-week break because they had to bye. So they took a couple days, went out on a boat. I remember they just got ridiculed. Absolutely ridiculed for that one.
Right.
But somehow, and it all has to do with whether or not you win. Winning fixes everything.
That's a fact.
But Kelsey, I be seeing this man. I listen to his podcast with his brother, New Heights. Jason and Travis Kelsey do their podcast. Great podcast, fun to listen to. He does that every single week. I've seen him take 2 or 3 videos where he's out at his girlfriend's concert.
Right.
I do not even have to mention it. If you don't know who it is, you're definitely not listening to our show because you're definitely under a rock somewhere.
Right, exactly.
But this man's at his girlfriend's shows. He's doing his podcast with whatever. When the hell is this man practicing?
You don't need to.
He don't. It's like, man, like when are like I look at the thing thing all the time that says Travis Kelce practiced in full today. Where? His girlfriend had a concert down in damn Des Moines or something like that.
He wasn't there.
He wasn't in Kansas City.
He wasn't there.
He wasn't there. Like, come on now. Like, the first half of the season, they're like, Travis Kelce, he's washed up. You know, I think he's reached that age. He's not going to produce anymore. He's not going to do it anymore. He didn't have to, guys. They haven't lost. And then he had back-to-back games of 10 and 14 catches.
Right.
24 catches in 2 games.
Right.
I mean,
hey, I'll take it.
I mean, I think that's pretty good.
Our tight end didn't have those. He doesn't have those numbers.
I'm pretty sure the tight end from Miami might not have 24 catches on the season,
Right.
let alone in 2 games.
I don't think Hunter Henry has that many catches. So, and he got those in 2 games. So, and I can't really knock a team that continues to win every week. So, you know, hate them or love them again. You could talk trash about them, but they're doing exactly what they're supposed to, and that's winning ball games. And that's exactly what you're supposed to do. In the NFL, you win games. Every game's important. We don't have an 82-season game. You know, you gotta win now. You can't wait till week 10, week 11. Oh, you know what? We found out how to do it. We're gonna win now. That's not it. So, you know, but I feel like those guys are just out here playing backyard football, having a good time and winning games, and they got good chemistry. And Andy Reid is a player's coach. And a lot of people don't want to admit that, but Andy Reid is a hell of a coach. This is a guy that will take a chance on people and really give them a second opportunity. Look at Michael Vick. Nobody wanted Michael Vick. He was damaged goods after the whole dog situation. And look what he did. Come on over here, Vick. We're going to give you a second chance. I know you have game. Come over here. You know, and sometimes it all boils down to being able to, translate more than just X's and O's. You know, because we are people too at the end of the day. These guys are human. They go through things. They have stuff. They have families. We all have moments in life where, hey, humanity has to take in and step up. So I feel like those guys love to play for Andy. So they're going to give their best when they're out there anyway.
And yes, you can always tell the players who are out there that they play for their coach. They want to win. You know, the McDermotts in Buffalo, you can tell. Mike Tomlin in Pittsburgh.
Oh yeah,
dude,
facts.
that man is a player's coach all day long. I like Mike Tomlin. I don't like the Steelers at all, but Mike Tomlin, maybe the most underrated coach in the league. I mean, how many 16 seasons with a winning record in a row, never had a losing season. Like, I don't think people realize how ridiculous that is.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's insane. So, that's the big thing. Before we get done here, we have to bring up, if we're talking football, we have to bring up one more team, because if Buffalo beats Kansas City, the Detroit Lions will more than likely be tied for the best record in the league with Kansas City, because Detroit has Jacksonville this week in Detroit.
Oof.
If Jacksonville beats Detroit in Detroit right now, that would probably be the biggest upset so far this year. And I don't see that one happening. So if Buffalo beats Kansas City, you're going to have a lot of people saying Detroit's the best team in the league. There's some people that are already saying that. But Detroit was, they were dominating the NFC Championship last year with 2 quarters away.
Man.
And they kind of pulled it down then. They're a team that hadn't been there before. San Francisco had a bunch of players that had been there before. But I don't know. Detroit looks like the team to beat in the NFC. They look tough. Minnesota was tough at the beginning of the season. Washington looks pretty good. Philly's playing decent. But I'm sorry. I think Detroit's got to be a clear front runner in the NFC. And in my opinion, the clear front runner right now for the Super Bowl, sorry, Kansas City, you've had some really close games. I've watched Detroit dominate some teams and just dominate. They got 1 loss, so Casey, I know me and Brandon always say, in order to be the champ,
you got to beat them, man.
You got to beat them. So we'll see.
You got to beat them.
We'll right now, that looks like what we might be looking at in February.
They got Mac Jones over there now. And Jacksonville, so maybe he just needed to be closer to home to get some dubs. He threw a touchdown last week. I'm checking for him, expatriate, but I don't think they have enough to. These boys in Detroit, they're rolling, and Eminem be at the game. So come on, that's 8 Mile, baby. What are we doing? Who doesn't like Eminem? Okay, that's mom's spaghetti. What are we doing?
These youngins don't like it.
That's crazy.
Listen, my daughter and all them, they like Eminem, but once again, you got these haters. Same guys that say LeBron could kill Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Same guys that say Patrick Mahomes is better than Tom Brady. Now he may be one day, but
I don't know.
Tom Brady got 7
He's got a long ways to go.
He got 7 Super Bowls. Patrick Mahomes got 3. Not saying he can't get there.
He won't.
Those same guys are the same ones telling me
He won't.
You're gonna laugh at this one. These are the same people that are out here saying Machine Gun Kelly's better than Eminem.
That's ridiculous. We heard what happened with that. So
this man gave up on rapping. He doing pop music now, wearing cardigans.
yeah, he went and grabbed the guitar. He had to. It was there. I mean, that kill shot. That's not it. Come on. So,
Man, so like listen, that's our guy Eminem. That's our shout out to the music world. We'll get more in that stuff as we go along
Absolutely.
and do more of these. But I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap this one up. We're gonna go ahead. We'll talk some more sports and everything next time. Probably go a little bit longer. This was our first go around.
Episode 1, y'all. Number 1.
If you end up seeing this one, if we end up putting this one out and you see this one, just get ready because this is just the beginning. Let your friend know. We're getting nothing but better. Like I said, this is our first ever time trying this. We hope you guys want to keep on listening.
They will.
We'll put more and more out there. We're going to get better. The setup's going to get better.
Absolutely.
We're going to have fun. And that's all what it's about.
Yep. We in the trenches right now, but guess what? Pretty soon, I just really feel like there's 2 guys that we know a little bit about sports. We haven't even touched on baseball, and this is this man's expertise. I mean, his baseball knowledge is through the roof. So I mean, besides him wearing a Yankees hat, that's the only crazy thing that I really don't understand. It's like, what are you doing? Who?
27.
Who?
27. That's them World Series championships.
What happened this year?
27.
Didn't y'all lose?
I mean, Boston had a good view from the couch at home.
We all did. We was all joking, y'all. We were all laughing, okay?
Well, we couldn't catch a ball in the last damn game. I don't know, up 5-0. We made 3 errors to go ahead and blow the game. That we could have made it 3-2, put a little nerves on it, but no, we gave it away. And listen, as a baseball fan, I know there's a lot of Yankees fans out there. They're Yankees fans. I am a massive Yankees fan, but I'm also a baseball fan. So, as much as this hurts my soul, I got to give a shout out to Freddie Freeman. That man was
beast.
a animal.
Yeah.
Damn animal. The Danimal. What that damn yogurt things back in the day? The Danimals?
The Danimals?
Yeah.
Isn't that something where you had the little cookies and then you put
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't rocking
yogurt.
with those.
I didn't do yogurt. But he was a damn animal. That man was I've never seen a point where you couldn't even make an argument for another MVP in the World Series. You couldn't even make an argument for anyone else.
That's facts.
He dominated every single game. He had 4 home runs in the one game that he didn't have a home run. 5 games with a home run. The one game he didn't have a home run, he still had a 2 RBI single that tied the game that ended up being in the difference in the end. So, but it's been good hanging out with you guys. Go ahead and definitely hang out with some more.
Yes.
I'm Jeremy.
And I'm Brandon.
Have a good one now.
Later.